If you're going to buy some property on the coast, move down here, have a second home, you're probably going to want a boat. And if you're going to buy a boat, you're going to need boat insurance. Angelo Di Paola, the Coastal Connection with eXp Realty. And we're bringing Alec Breaud with the Breaud Agency. Quote my boat
insurance.
Quote my boat insurance.com. And that's what we're talking about. We're going to break down boat insurance, what you need to know, what you need to think about when insuring your boat. And what you kind of the pitfalls of what that looks like with storms and then the aftermath of Sally. And I'll tell a story about how I didn't have the proper insurance. It cost me 70 G's. So
that's fun.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, I guess to start out, the first thing I want to get across to people is that a lot of times they think that buying boat insurance is like buying your car insurance, which it's not. There's a lot more involved in doing this and a lot of different ways to attack it. So it's important to have somebody that specializes in boat and yacht insurance to go forward.
And that's what you do. And so like, I guess let's start off with like the difference between like, hey, I've got a little 26-foot skiff versus I have a 70-foot Viking sport fishing boat. What's the difference?
That's a great example because a 26, usually your captive insurance agencies, like the ones that you see the brick and mortars all over the town, they really like 26 and under. We can quote it and we can compete a lot of times. Sometimes we do it, sometimes we don't, but that's easy. That's one day turnaround type stuff. Your 70-foot sport fish, you're going to need some time. You really need to get involved in that process when you start buying the boat.
So should you start like as you're in the search process to understand what it's going to be like, or do you start once you go under contract?
It's helpful to start getting the information to an insurance, especially insurance agent, as soon as you start looking to buy the boat, because there are some tips and tricks that they can offer you too in order to lower, keep your premiums low and, what to do.
Well, it might also be a negotiation point too. If you're looking at a certain boat and you're going to need the survey and here's what's going to happen. Here's how this affects my insurance.
Absolutely.
All right. So State Farm, Allstate, these people can quote a small boat. There's no reason for them to be touching your big boat, but you can do that. What's the difference between like right now, single engine boats, I feel like bay boats are popular, but also these quad engine boats versus a twin engine versus a triple engine boat. I know there's a difference in there, not just the cost, but what do we need to know about covering that kind of?
Really and truly two important things. Number one is the twin engine boats, usually up to about 34 to 35 feet. Again, we can get those done same day, and they usually don't need a survey unless they're a little bit older. Now, what's really important are the triples and ups are really going to need to be looked at by the underwriters. And very important is that they're probably going to need a GPS theft tracking device installed on them to be approved.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yep, as triples and quads are getting more popular, and thefts are rising.
All right, so what about covering stuff? I'm not even sure if you can do this, but, there's this case here recently where somebody had $50,000, $60,000 worth of fishing equipment stolen and like your GPS and all your electronics. What's the difference in covering that? Is there a rider that you can attach or you just...
Yeah, you can add different levels of coverage for your personal effects, and your electronics can have a special deductible, et cetera. Something that has really popped up here recently in the summertime was one of the big insurers of boats in the triple and quad engine game has decided that they're not going to offer you coverage if you had a loss of over $5,000 in the last, I think it's 3 to 5 years. So you got to be real careful with your stuff.
So anybody, speaking of losses, and when we say loss, we're talking like a Sally where I mean, like I know with my insurance, like I had to have a float plan to get my boat out of here. Well, like a lot of people didn't adhere to those float plans during Sally. How's that going to affect people that experienced a loss from Sally this past year?
So, like I was just saying, that now they are this company is starting to deny people from big losses in the last year, and the companies that will take it are going to be a lot more expensive.
So you need to be able to shop that around.
We need to shop that early.
All right, good deal. So hey, look, if you're going to buy a quad or triple engine boat, you need to start that process early so you kind of understand what that full ownership cost is going to be. And so speaking of ownership costs, so you can keep your boat behind your house. You can keep it at a marina like we're here at Orange Beach Marina, or you keep it on a trailer. You were telling me that most marinas now, or all marinas, are requiring you to have insurance on your boat, to keep it here. But, I told you I was going to tell the story of how the story,
Yeah.
how I lost $70,000 on a boat deal. I bought a boat in California, hired a guy to bring it over here. He sent me what I thought was all his insurance. It was all fake. And I put my own insurance on the boat, and I put the rider for the travel, because you have to have, what is it, like if you're going to travel outside a 200 or 300 mile radius?
Depends on the policy, yeah.
Then you have to have a special rider if anything happens. Like if you're going to trailer your boat down to the Keys or something like that, you need to make sure that rider's in place. But you also need to make sure your vehicle is strong enough to tow the boat, which is what happened to me. The guy was towing a 34-foot boat with a Ford F-150. He voided out my policy, and of course his policy wasn't in place. And we ended up suing him, and we didn't get anything because the insurance that he did have was for his business. So the only thing that it did was cover his attorney fees, which then he just kept on running us around in court, jacked up our attorney fees. It was a no-win situation.
Yeah.
So you need to, and that's one thing I didn't know. I mean, I just went through some like online, and nobody kind of told me what I needed, what I was looking at. So I want to emphasize dealing with somebody that does nothing but boat insurance, and that they can walk you through that process and ask you the questions that need to be asked, so you get the proper coverage. Because that's one thing is insuring it, but the other thing is making sure you have the proper coverage.
Exactly. And you and I both sold boats in the past, so we know what boats, we know the different aspects of boats. I actually helped a insurance agent, a big broker in South Florida, could not get insurance on his new boat, but he had to come to me to figure out how to do it the right way. So it takes a real specialty agent to get the best quality coverage that we know what we're doing with. Because again, if you don't know boats, you're just going to be shooting in the wind.
You're just punching numbers punching information into a computer screen, getting it back out. Here's what we can do.
Right.
All right. So we talked about big boats, small boats, triple engine boats. What about older boats? What's that process look like?
You're going to definitely need a survey. If you don't have a survey, that's your best friend. Usually anything over 10 to 15 years old is going to have to be looked at. You're going to, in some cases, be able to buy the boat and get the insurance with a document that says, I'm going to fix XYZ in 30 days. Now, they're kind of cracking down on that too. So, again, the important part, if you're buying a boat, is to get the insurance part started early.
Awesome. All right. So, have we not covered something that we should have covered? We cover trailering. We cover keeping it marinas, small boats, big boats, old boats.
Oh, about the marinas, the big deal is even the smaller marinas. There's one group that's been buying up a lot of the bigger marinas, especially around Florida and coastal Alabama. They are definitely requiring certain limits, $500,000 liability. They have to be named insured. But even the smaller marinas now, after Sally, are requiring some sort of proof of insurance, even if it's liability only.
Good to know. All right, Alec. QuoteMyBoatInsurance.com.
That's right. We have an easy form. You can fill it out, and then I'll take that information and shop all the markets we possibly can. We don't just fix on one. We do the entire available market.
Is your phone number on there if somebody has like some specific questions?
They can call my cell, 850-399-1811.
All right, QuoteMyBoatInsurance.com. Alec Breaud. If you have a boat, you need boat insurance. It's just the way it is. If you need real estate advice, hit me up. thecoastalconnection.com or 251-279-0099. QuoteMyBoat.com.
No, Quote My Boat Insurance.
God. Hey, I'm doing it on purpose so you can say it. QuoteMyBoatInsurance.com. Get at him. He can help you out. All levels of boats. Y'all have a great day. I hope you found this helpful. Thank you, Alec.
Thanks, Angelo.
Wow.